So this week I've asked you to do a little bit of practice at working with time. Getting comfortable reading clocks and switching between using a digital clock, an analogue clock and using 24-hour times is just one of those things that if you learn it now, it'll be with you for the rest of your life. You won't have to worry about it again. So that's good. It can be a bit confusing. It can feel like there's lots of different ways of saying the same thing. So I just wanted to spend a bit of time revisiting that now, because there is so much information in a clock, so much information that it can be really confusing. We've got the numbers around the edge and they tell us the hours. The numbers tell us the hours. But they also tell us, with the minute hand, how far to and past the hour it is. And you just kind of have to remember those. So we've got 5 past, 10 past, quarter past. And quarter past is the same as 15 minutes past. 20 minutes past, 25 minutes past, half past. And half past, half an hour, is the same as 30 minutes. And then we start talking about going to the other way. So 25 to, 22, quarter to, 10 to, 5 to. But while we're looking at this quarter to time, if we were writing that with a digital clock, we would say 45. And we might also talk about 3/4 of an hour, and we mean 45 minutes. If you can get those in your head, it really, really helps. Now, my clock, I've got the hour hand coming just before the 2, so this means it's 10 to 2. 10 to 2. If I was writing this on a 24-hour clock and it was 10 to 2 in the morning, I'll be putting 01, because it isn't 2 o'clock yet. It will be 2 o'clock in 10 minutes, but we're still in the ones. And it's 50. 10 to is 50 minutes. However, that would be if it was AM, always morning, AM, that's how I remember it. But I'm going to say we're in the afternoon, it's PM, past morning, if you remember it like me. And we convert between AM and PM by adding 12 to our hours number, by saying it is 1 add 12, 13, 50. Now, all of these times say it's 10 to 2. And that can be a bit difficult to wrap your head around, but I really, really recommend practicing. Once you've got your head around all of that, let's start to think about solving problems using time. We've said it's 10 to 2 or 13:50. What time will it be in half an hour? Now the first thing we've got to do is remember that half an hour equals 30 minutes. I'll solve this for you first using an analogue clock method, and then I'll solve it on the digital clock, and you can decide which method works best for you. So, 30 minutes, talking about minutes, think about the minute hand. We're going to move it round by 30. And each one of these numbers is moving on by 5 minutes. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Our minute hand is going to come over here to 20 past. But that minute hand moved past the hour. It took us over the hour. So our hour hand is going to move on as well. It was between 1 and 2. So we're going to move it on to between 2 and 3. I moved that a little bit too far. It needs to be in between 2 and 3. Perfect. So I can read this clock now. My hour hand is just a bit past the 2 and it's at 20, so it's 20 past 2. So in half an hour, from 10 to 2, it will be 20 past 2. Let's have a look at how we would solve that using the digital clock, if that's a format that works better for you. We've got to move on by 30 minutes. Now we know that 50 plus 30 would be 80. But we can't say 80, it's too many. As soon as it gets to 60, it's going to roll back round to 0 again. So, it's going to take it 10 minutes to get up to that 60. So we've used 10, we've still got 20 minutes to add on. So it's going to go to 20 past, but it rolled over the hour. So we need to add 1 over here as well. It takes us to 14:20, or 20 past 2, just like we said over here. Let's start to think about some slightly bigger numbers. Let's say, what time will it be in 3 hours and 3/4? So that's 3 hours and 45 minutes. Let's make a note of that 45 to help you remember. Let's solve it first on the analogue clock. So, at the moment, we've got our hour hand between 2 and 3. We need to move it on by 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be somewhere between 5 and 6. And we need to move our minute hand on by 45 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35, 40, 45. So it's going to come over to here. But because we moved past the hour, we rolled past the hour, we need to go back to our hour hand and move it on 1 again. So it's between the 6 and the 7. It's going to be something past 6 or something to 7. And our minute hand's at the 1, which is telling us it is 5 past 6. Using our analogue clock, 5 past 6. I could do exactly the same. With my digital clock, I'm starting at 20 past 2. I want to move on by 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm going to start by adding on those 3 hours. That would take it to 17 something. And then I need to add on those 45 minutes. And the first question I need to ask is, will it go over the 60? And yes, it would go over 60. 20 plus 45 is going to be more than 60. So, how many minutes do I need to bring it to 60 from 20? I need 40, so that would take me to the 0, 0. But I've still got 5 minutes left, so it's going to be something 05. And because I rolled over the hour, I came over that 60, I need to add 1 here as well. Which takes us to 18:05, which is the same as 5 past 6. It can be pretty confusing working with time. What I would really recommend is, if you have an actual clock, an actual analogue clock in your house, having a play with that, because that's really helpful. It's much less fiddly and the hour hand moves on by itself. It's much easier than trying it on a whiteboard. So for me, these digital numbers work better if you're working without a real life clock, but you might be somebody who just thinks in an analogue way, and that's okay. Have a really good go at the questions on your sheet. If you're having any problems, let me know. If not, speak soon guys. Bye bye.